平和と見間違うランブリンコースターふさとが折れながら見失えないものはなんだ平等性形式の概念にとられてここまでがまるで得た瀬戸が大嫌い大好きちゃんと喋らなきゃ人間とさして変わらないしああ夜に街を行く人だけに嬉しそうばかり寂しそうばかり本当に外が五線譜の旅の歌とリズムに一緒にその上に残業きたせて甘くて苦くて長くなるスイスパーティーを続け世界中を動かせてしまう夜になる愛の頂上連鎖になってリフレクト式の制度に生まれて沖縄の中にこっちを向いてよ背を向けないで
All right, what's going on, guys? My name is Lotus Juice. Thank you for coming out to my panel.
You're amazing!
Just give me a sec. Okay, so for those of you who know me or who doesn't, my name is Lotus Juice. I'm a rapper, track maker, musician, narrator in Japan. But most of the things that I do is I make music. So I like to label myself a musician. And today I'd like to talk about my life in short, my music career, how I started my music. And so welcome to my panel.
Yeah, nice seeing you!
How's everybody doing, man? You know, it's my first time in LA. I'm gonna get into it later, but I grew up in New Jersey. I moved to New Jersey when I was 8, graduated high school there, went to college in Japan. But you know, I grew up a East Coast guy, but LA rules, man. I love LA. All right, let's get started. The panel is in 3 sections, as you can see. My life in New Jersey, my college life, where I started music there, and last but not least, how I got to work with Persona 3 and where I am right now. Okay. So, as an Asian kid, who did not speak a word of English, 1989. Age of 8, in 4th grade, my family moved to New Jersey from Japan. My first international flight, the time difference. Have you ever been into like the international flight before?
Yeah, I did!
Man, I was 8 and the 12 or 13 hour time difference kicked my ass, man. I lived on like the 48th floor of New York City skyscraper for like, I don't know, like a month and a half. And so 1989 was a wild summer for me, to say the least. And first day of school in September, I was so nervous, right? While my mom was doing the procedure of moving and all that stuff, I probably went to the bathroom like 18 times. I go to the bathroom, nothing's coming out. Yeah, but everybody in my elementary school, they were sweet. My ESL teacher taught me well and even cooked us turkey for Thanksgiving. And of course, I had no clue what Thanksgiving meant back then, you know. And but although people were not all nice in grade school, but outside of it, I felt kind of out of place because I was an immigrant who didn't speak a word of English, and it wasn't. I don't know how it is right now because I live in Japan right now, but it wasn't easy to live as an Asian, as a foreigner in the 90s. I do know that the Asians are a privileged minority, but it was different from Japan that it took a little getting used to. But anyways, however, sports, especially as a kid, you don't need to speak, right? No verbal language required. Excuse me. So I made a bunch of friends through soccer and basketball, and that's me.
You look cool. You look cool.
I'm still cute.
You are cute.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, but humble brag, I was on a traveling team for soccer, and from 4th grade, and we were fairly good. And I was proud of myself since I was the go-to guy, and I had hat tricks once, so I'm proud of that. Though soccer was fun, my passion was always basketball. I would go out with my brother, go to the park, pick up basketball, and just really got into it, man. And then my brother discovered New York Knicks, right? I know this is LA, but New York Knicks. And I was reluctant to watch the NBA at first. I was one of those guys who wanted to play instead of watch the game. But I watched it. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the NYK in the 90s. They were a badass team, like literally badass, like almost punching people too. And people in the 90s back then, we were all excited, having a good time, just watching it. So we were all hooked, like all my other kids were hooked too. So that's me. Can you find where I am right now? My school pic?
This is difficult.
Right there. That's me. I don't know why I'm like, my mouth is open. I don't know why.
That's you.
But yeah, that's me. And that's me in high school. I would go to high school, come home, take a nap, then drive down to the court called Memorial Field in New Jersey, and we play pickup basketball until the lights are out, around 10 p.m. I had a huge passion for basketball, but you never see Asian guys on NBA, right? So I didn't believe myself, but kind of embarrassed to say that I had a dream of playing the NBA. Kind of embarrassed to say that I still dream about me having my New York Knicks jersey, like literally watch that, see the dreams and wake up crying. I gave up my dream, and I still regret that to this day. I wish I believed in myself. No internet back then. I mean, we did have internet, but very, very slow. You guys probably don't even know what ISDN means, right?
No.
No, right? It was one of those, you gotta click the button, and your PC makes a call, like, and it connects to internet. It was slow as...
Slower than a snail.
Anyways, back then, I had no idea of getting into the league, because broken English and all that. So I decided to, this is me and my brother, my mom, 1995. I think I was like 15, 16. That's me in graduation. And college. I decided to go back to Japan for college for many reasons. First and foremost, a friend asked me what Japan's like, but I lived there for almost 7, 8 years already. I didn't know like what Japan was like, so I couldn't answer him, and that question stuck in my head for many years, and almost had kind of a identity crisis. So I needed to find out who I was, who I am, and second, I was sure that if I spoke Japanese and English, I would have more opportunities in Japan than I do here. So that's one of the reasons I went back to Japan. And third, I lived in New Jersey for 10 years. I just needed change. Some people just need change. I did think about going to college here, but if I didn't, I wouldn't be making music. So I think it was a good choice, and it really was. Man, you didn't need to see that yet. So going back to basketball, there was always a guy who would bring a huge boombox, and he would bump Hot 97. It's the radio station in New York City and tri-state area. It was the biggest in the 90s, and it would play like the hottest R&B and hip hop back then. And back then, hip hop and R&B was growing market, and it was getting bigger and bigger every day. And the radio host, Angie Martinez, would bring like major label artists to independent artists who we had no idea who they are, but they were talented, and play some music that we didn't know. Remember, we didn't have YouTube back then. So we're listening to the songs that's not famous, but it's dope, that we were thinking we were the coolest guys as a teenager. Little did we know. So hip hop and R&B was growing market, and we were totally influenced by it and its music. And 1998, I'm back in Tokyo for college. I went to Sophia University. It's called Jochi in Japanese. You guys know? No, yeah. It's in Yotsuya. But funny, I had a hard time adjusting back to Japan because I had all my friends in the US. I remember 1995, the Japanese economy bubble popped, and all my Japanese friends, they went back home. I had no Japanese friends, so I was hanging out with all my American friends, and you know, as a teenager, you don't know anything better. Going out Friday night, some parties, something that I did something that I can't really say here. Just having fun, you know. But it's so different in Japan how they party. So I was going through like a culture shock almost, and I was always having fun with the Kikoku Shijo, which means they are the ones who grew up abroad like I was, and they were bilinguals, Kikoku Shijo. So till this day, the easiest language to speak for me is mixing Japanese and English together. Like I would be like, so I was in Akihabara で、そこでなんかカレーを食べて、it was so good, man. You know, mixing all that things together. It's just so much easier. Anyways, one of my boys was an exchange student from Georgetown, and he organized an event in the big hall, our college campus, and somehow he convinced me to rap on stage because he had nobody to perform. Back then, I wasn't pursuing music at all, and so I was like, huh? What are you talking about? And but somehow he convinced me, and I don't know why, but I said yes. And keep in mind, I was just a fan of hip hop, 18 years old, listening to hip hop every day and R&B, but not a rapper, never written a verse before, and no freestyle. So what did I do with the beats? My friend from China, he came for an exchange program, and he loved this composer named Tetsuya Komuro. He was a huge composer in the 90s. He's still around, and he wanted to get connected with Tetsuya Komuro. That's why he came. And this guy was loaded, man. He was like a son of Sheraton hotel owner in Shanghai or whatever. But he actually came to the dorm just to make connection. And it worked out fine for me because he had 3 synthesizers in a tiny room. And I told him about the beats, and I was like, I'm gonna be performing at this event. And he was like, say no more. Started playing the 3 synthesizer, you know, and made a beat at the spot. Eventually brought a female singer on the track too, and we made a song in a few weeks. After 1 rehearsal, we performed on stage. How did we do? It was the worst show I ever done in my whole life. It was horrible. Oh man, I'm so glad nobody had smartphones back then. Oh man, I don't even want to think about it. Not many people showed up anyways, but they weren't feeling it, I could tell. But it felt right for me for some reason. Being on stage and performing, I had a good time. I just didn't know how to present it on stage. It was so much fun. So then this dude came up to me and asked me if I was interested in performing with him in nightclubs. And I was like, huh? What are you talking about? He says he's a rapper and he has a gig like in a few weeks. And he was like, I want you to be in our crew because that was pretty dope. I was like, you're asking me, you're inviting me based on this show? So I got skeptical, but it's so good. I was interested, so I met up with his crew. They weren't like experienced artists either. And Thursday night, not many people, but about 100 in the club. Not a huge club, decent. It's called Buenos. I don't think it's there anymore in Shibuya. Different name maybe. But a bunch of people, stage fright. But I managed to kick my verse. The crowd went buck wild, man. Oh man, I wish I had that recorded. But from then I got hooked on music. The organizers asked us to perform regularly, and that's how I began my career in the clubs. I probably had like maybe 1 or 2 gigs in a week, and I was doing it for free. You know, nobody knew me, and I wasn't really pursuing a professional career at that moment, just having fun. But during college, I wanted to look for something fun and meaningful at the same time, which led me to narration jobs. I went to this audition, not really thinking about anything, and the agency recruited me. So I was doing TV commercials when I was 19, 20. So I thought it was a good, easy money job, right? Just my voice, you know. But it was far from it. You always have to be prepared, well-conditioned, and understand what the client's need is looking for. And being punctual, very, very important in Japan, and well-behaved in the studio, Japanese style. Very important elements as a professional narration jobs in Tokyo, and consequently, I'm still doing narration jobs till this day. So after college, I decided to do 2 jobs, narration and music. I knew how hard it is to make a penny in music and narration jobs industry, but this music especially became my second dream I ever had. I didn't mention first, but my first was to be in the NBA. Back then, I wanted it so bad, but somehow, you know, nobody really believed in me back then. I gave up on myself, so this time I didn't want to give up. So what did I do? I worked on my craft. I'd make time to practice narration music every day. Because starting a music career when you're 19, 20, it's kind of late. People say it's never late, but I felt like everybody else was skilled. So I knew I had to get in my lab and just work on my craft. So after I graduated, I put all my time in getting my skills up. For narration, I write script and record it over and over again, listening to it over and over again, and revise it. And same thing with music. I would make beats over and over again, listen to it over and over again, and revise it. And during those times, I was making a lot of musician friends, independent, major, famous, not so famous. They were very different in terms of their musical background. They could play an instrument or instruments, trained for years, already got a deal, and they were well paid to do shows. And so I knew I had to stop being social, overly social, because even though it was fun, they were way ahead of me, and I knew I had to work on my craft. So I stayed away from them, and consequently I lost a bunch of my friends. But in doing so, it was well worth it because I'm still on stage, and many of the people that I met back then, 1920, they're not. So I think perseverance and efficiency is the key. And these are, this picture right here, kind of embarrassed, man, thinking I'm so cool with those sunglasses on. Yeah, look at me. I think I'm like 24, 25. I didn't have a artist picture. So, you guys are blessed with a smartphone, so we could just take it and turn it into like your artist pic, right?
Yeah.
I had my friend set up our schedule and bring in their expensive cameras and take a photo of me. I don't like these photos at all, but that's why I don't use them. Anyways, so then I made my first album, Only a Test, with the help of my friends. It didn't sell much, but it reached important people who made a huge impact in my life. Shoji Meguro, he's the composer for Alice game, not only Persona 3, but many of Persona series. And I met Taki Iwasaki as well. So, how it happened was my friend called me up. I was back in New Jersey actually, and he called me up. He's like, are you interested in doing a song for a video game? And the cocky kid that I was like, video game? I gotta listen to the beats first, man. Send me the beats. And remember ISDN, internet? So Shoji Meguro sent me the CD. Back in Japan, I had this really cheap CD player, and I played it, and it goes, baby, 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 baby. I was like, it just like blew my mind because I'm thinking like 8-bit music from the video games, because I was away from playing video games, concentrated on making music, and I was like, hell yeah, let's do this. I called him up, and Shoji Meguro was like, you don't need to write the lyrics. The lyrics are already written. I was like, that's weird. It's rap though, Okay, I'll go into the studio anyways. So I go into the studio, and I see a gentleman with sweats on, right? With a mask, very short hair. And I say, "Otsukaresama desu," just saying hi in Japanese. And the guy was like, wearing a mask, said something, but I couldn't really hear anything, right? Little did I know it was Yumi Kawamura. She had the shortest hair. She had a mask on. And I'm sorry to say, she looked very dirty. I told her this. So, dirty as in not you know what I mean. Yeah, I told her that, and she's laughing, so it's okay, I could tell her this. But anyways, she left. I met Shoji for the first time, and showed me the lyrics. It was broken English. It didn't make sense. And I was like, I'm sorry, but if you want me to rap these words, please don't credit me on it. Don't put my name on it. I'll do it for business. It's okay, but this doesn't make sense. So, and he was like, oh, okay. So he doesn't understand English. So he proposed the idea of me revising it. I was like, all right, put the verse part in loop. So in 30 minutes, I revised it. And that's how I came out with there's a way can be loud, face reality, never be charity, then be you fighting, come a soul. That's how it happened. And I laced it in like 15, 20 minutes, and I left. And where was I? I wasn't gonna talk about that, but yes. So he took the data back to Atlas, and he mixed it. He had other Atlas workers listen to Mass Destruction, and they were feeling it. So he called me up once again, asked for another song, and it was Burn My Dread Last Battle. But I had no idea what it was for. So if you listen to the lyrics, the original version, it doesn't really make sense. For the P3 reload, they asked me to record it once again with the original rhyme. And I was like, hell no, please, I'll do it for free. And I actually did it for free. I revised it, so very blessed to say that the music that I did for Persona series, and very blessed that I love the game too, right? So I played the game so many times. I didn't want that original lyrics for the newer version. So I had to go back and write, right? And as I was writing, I was crying, man. I was like, oh my God. I'm not gonna talk about the ending because some of y'all probably didn't finish the game. But yeah, if you could go back and check out the lyrics, yeah, it made me cry. So I hope it kind of have a positive impact on you. I have time, right? Funny story. Burn My Dread, when Shoji Meguro came up with that song, Atlas was not doing so well, business-wise. Persona 2 came out, the sales just didn't do so well. So the producers, directors, they were replaced by the younger ones. And Shoji Meguro was appointed to do the composing. And the reason why he chose rap was because nobody's ever done it before. And he wanted the English version, English rap, because he was thinking it might be distracting the Japanese users. Because he's not thinking about like localizing it to outside Japan. And but anyways, if you listen to Burn My Dread, the very opening of Persona 3, the mellow piano, the chords play, and the hard guitar hits, right? He made the beats. He had somebody sing for him. He mixed it down. He brought it to Atlas on the table, and they were like, no, this is a crappy song. We can't use this. And Meguro sounds like, no way. Maybe it's the singer. So he called up Yumi-san, and Yumi-san, you know how she sings back in the days. And she killed it, man, she nailed it. Mixed it down, brought it back to the table. Alice was like, they loved it, so that's a side story. I wasn't gonna talk about that. So anyways, about 3 or 4 years ago, during COVID, I think, Alice called me up, and they wanted to not Zoom, but meet in person, you know, because of the regulations and all that. I was like, okay, it must be important. So I go in, and all these directors and producers, about like 15 of them, and I'm like, what is going on? And presented me with this picture, the key visuals back then of Persona 3 Reload. I was like, hell yeah. And at that point, Shoji Meguro-san quit Atlas, and what he is doing right now is that he is creating his own game. It's called Guns on Darkness. He's actually programming it in Unreal Engine by himself. It's amazing what he does. I interviewed him on YouTube. It's only Japanese, but he wakes up like around 10-ish. The first thing he does, brush his teeth? Nah. Eat breakfast? Nah. He touches his MacBook and he just programs. He eats like around 1 or 2, and then goes back and works for like another 5 hours. And that's what he does every day. Mad props to Shoji Meguro-san and his music. And look forward to his music because I might be on it too. Anyways, so Kitacho-san was the main composer for Persona 3 Reload, and you know, the predecessor is such an amazing composer. It must have been very difficult for anybody to recreate Persona 3 music, but I think he did an outstanding job. Don't you think? Right? And the new singer, Takahashi Azumi. Yeah, she's amazing, man. She's amazing too. So glad that the Persona 3 Reload came out, and I'm glad that I'm assuming you guys played. Yeah, great. Yeah. So I'm gonna show you the picture first. These are the pictures when I was in Taiyokan. Some of the cosplayers. That's Kape Yamaguchi. He does the voice for Kuma, Teddy in Persona 4. Kuma! Yeah. That's Raj Ramaya. He's the singer-songwriter, producer, and he sang for Ghost in the Shell, and yeah, a bunch of stuff, man. And that's me, 2015. I was signing pictures, but I had like a huge fever here. I don't think you could tell, but yeah, I manned up. This is a YouTube program that I did with Atlas. Me in Argentina. Huge Heineken. Man, Argentina was something else, man. This is me. Do I have time? Yes. So, you know, conventions are sometimes organized by amateur organizers, and Argentina was unfortunately one of them. When we went, I was supposed to rehearse around 10 a.m. They told me not to come because the convention wasn't open. We were on a wait until 3 p.m. The convention didn't open until 3 p.m. because for Argentina's regulation, they had to have one police car and a fire truck for some reason, right? For safety issues, safety measures. They didn't have that. So until 3 p.m., we couldn't go in. I went there around 4 p.m. and some of the fans found me, and she was like, "Oh, your show is supposed to start at 2 p.m., but I have to go. I have to catch the flight." So she couldn't see my show. I was like, "Oh man, that sucks." And my show was delayed until 7:30 p.m. or 8, right? And then I go in, I couldn't rehearse at all. And the janitor who had like the control of electricity, he was like, "You only have 15 minutes." I was like, "What?" I had like an hour show prepared, the set list all prepared, right? And he's like, "I'm gonna cut the electricity in 15 minutes." I was like, this sucks both ways. The fans came out from Brazil, you know, from far away from Argentina. And it took me about 35 hours door to door to come to Argentina to do 15 minutes show. I was bummed out. So I was like, you know what? Forget about my set. I was gonna do my solo stuff too, but I played mainly my Persona songs, right? Because I knew they were there, they came to see and listen to Persona songs. Then I was doing it, all my set list messed up, right? And I was doing it, and I checked out the clock, and it was like 7:25. And I looked at the janitor, and the janitor was going like this. So I kept going, but my set list was all messed up. But luckily, all the people who came out there enjoyed it. And when I got off the stage, he was like, "You rocked, man." Yeah, so that was Argentina. This is me in Canada. This girl threw a ring while I was talking, and I gave it back to her, and she was like, "Marry me." So I was proposed. That's Shunsuke Takeuchi, my partner. I have a group called Amadeus. He's the voice actor for Olaf for Frozen in Japanese. And this guy has, oh man, so many voices that I can't even pretend to imitate. Great guy. This is me in New York. I had a show in Brooklyn, and as a Knicks fan, I had to take a picture with Carmelo, some of the Italians that I had, Italian food. And this is me inside Madison Square Garden. And I was with my friend telling her that, you know, the t-shirt tosses during the game, people are going crazy with the t-shirt tosses, right? And I'm telling her, I'm like, you know what, man? You could go back in the booth or whatever, the vendor. You could get this t-shirt for like 10 bucks, man. I don't know why people are all hyped up. While I was telling her that, and I caught it. And I was like, yes! Hell yeah! Forget about the talk. Yeah, and I was excited. This is me with Taki Iwasaki in front of Trump Tower before he was elected president. And this is me with Len Inaizumi, P5 singer. This is me in TGS, I believe it was 2008, no, 2019, 20? 19. I tore my Achilles playing basketball, so that's why I'm wearing this huge boot. I did 2 songs for TGS. I came out, my ankle was so swollen. I couldn't walk, but I drove home. It's okay. That's my dog, Melody. Yeah, she's my first dog, and just a beautiful thing. That's me doing hosting a show on Warner Brothers TV on YouTube for Anime Expo when it was all remote. Yeah, I don't think, yeah, they were all the regulation with the COVID. Yeah, I don't like having long hair, but you know, with the COVID, I didn't get a haircut, so. Look at my big head, you know. It's huge with the long hair. Anyways, that's me in Persona Live. I think it was in the arena, Yokohama Arena. Oh, my bad. Oh, I keep doing it, my bad. Hold on a second. Okay, so that was it, and I'd like to conclude this panel with these words. If you are an aspiring artist, or anybody who is chasing their dreams, please do so, because you will regret it if you don't, because I did. I gave up a dream of playing the NBA. Now that I look back, I may have had a chance. May. If I'd known what it takes and steps I needed to take. So gather info, consult others, don't be afraid to make dumb questions because there are none. Work on your craft, but know the business side of it too. Understand that you're blessed to do what you love, but you have to pay your dues. Love your friends and family and your fans. Forget about the haters and focus on your loved ones. Thank you. Do we have time for questions? Do we have time for questions? We have 5 minutes, right? 8 minutes. I can't give you a microphone, so you gotta scream. Right there. I'd rather not say, but back then, all these MC names were either big something or little something, right? Even in Japan. So I didn't want to come up with that, and I was flipping some kind of book, and there's this Greek mythology, and there's this fruit, lotus. It's not the flower, it's the fruit in Greek mythology. When you eat it, you get high. So it's like a metaphor. If you drink my music, you get high. Not in like a drug perspective, you know what I'm saying? But I'd rather not say it because I think it's corny. All right, well, you're in the front? Yeah. Oh, yeah, go ahead. Collaborating with who? Calliope? Yeah. So my experience with collaborating with Maury Calliope. That happened fast.
Oh, no, you can finish your.
Oh, okay, yeah. It happened fast. I believe it was June or July. Raj Ramaya came to Japan, and we had drinks together with a bunch of our friends. And my friend, I met a guy there. His name is Hoshi-san, and we talked, chit chat, little whatever. And a week later, he was like, "Are you interested in collaborating with Maury Calliope?" I was like, "Okay." I wasn't really aware. I checked her YouTube, and I was like, "I know her. She's the one who wanted to play Persona 3 on YouTube, right?" And people are asking me to give her permission. I was like, "I don't own the game copyrights, man. I'm just a rapper." But anyways, yeah, so supposedly she was a big fan of mine from back in the days, and she told me that she kind of started rapping because of Persona 3 Mass Destruction. And it was such an honor. So I had a meeting with the manager from her crew, and we got together, and it just happened like that. I didn't get to speak to her that much. We just met in the studio. She had to go do a YouTube live, but she stayed for my recording because supposedly I'm like her idol. Yeah, so she was very animated, looked very happy. So, and the song, I mean, did you listen to her album? Oh man, like I said on YouTube, not on YouTube, on Twitter, X, whatever, there's no garbage tracks. I listened to the album and I was like, yo, all these tracks are dope. So if you haven't listened to it, go check it out. Hopefully we can work together again sometimes in the future. Yeah, that's how it was. Yeah. Okay.
Are you gonna cosplay Chie again?
Am I gonna cosplay Chie again? Those of you who's not aware, I did a Chie cosplay. I even shaved my legs, man. So this is how it happened. It's not because I wanted to cosplay Chie. I asked on Twitter back then, and people were like, "You gotta cosplay Chie, you gotta cosplay Chie." And I'm an entertainer. I give what the people want, right? So I actually paid like $1,000 to actually make the cosplay, because if I'm gonna do it, people are gonna think it's official, right? So I couldn't make like some cheap ass cosplay, and the guy who made it, he was like, "You gotta shave your legs." I was like, "No, Ko-chan, no, I don't want to shave my legs." He's like, "You have to shave your legs. You have to shave your beard, of course, but you have to shave your legs." And he was determined, man, for some reason. So he convinced me, and shaving my legs was, I still remember vividly, it felt like I was losing something. But it's not, yeah. Okay, maybe one more question. Do we have time? Nobody's looking at me? Okay,
I gotta say, how does it feel recording, making lyrics for different Persona games, like 3, 4,
Can you give him the microphone?
So, what do you think is different writing lyrics for like Persona 5 Tactica compared to Persona 3 or Persona 4 Arena?
What's not different is social links, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the other part, the music genre is different because I talked to Meguro-san about this. The original P3 had no like raw drums in it. Not really. If you listen to Deep Breath, when it plays during the monorail, it's more of like I wouldn't say EDM, but it's more electric. He was intentionally doing that because it was in the city. the whole scene was in the city. But P4, it's out in the not even the country. It's country suburbs, Japanese suburbs, maybe countryside. Yeah. So that's why he used all like raw drums and all that. So after P3, I didn't really write songs for P4, but P5 I did. So what I usually do is for any content, I want to read a script, I want to absorb it, and output that through my words. So it really depends on the script. It really depends on when the music is playing. Because one time I played a game, I'm not gonna say which one. Played a game, I liked it, but the very end, it was a famous American rapper. You know, everybody knows, the whole world knows. Nothing to do with the game. The content had nothing to do with the game. So I was bummed out, man. I was like, So if I am the fan, and if I'm playing a game, and if I'm listening to the song, I wanted it to relate to the content that I'm playing. So that's what I usually do. I don't like intentionally differentiate between the two or amongst the games, but what I do is I try not to overlap words sometimes because it has the same concept, you know, especially the battle theme. I've written so many versions of rap verses for Mass Destruction, so it was kind of tough to write Mass Destruction for P3R, but I'm kind of happy with the result. Yeah. Are we good? One more question maybe, or? Okay, one more question. You. Favorite Persona song? Oh, that's so hard. Oh, I want to ask you guys, like, you know, your favorite song changes, right? Like over time. Right now, could it be my song?
Yes.
I usually don't choose my song, but just because how it came out, I like Color at Night. Yeah. All right, that's it, guys. Thank you for coming out. I'm gonna be at the booth. I'm gonna be signing autographs. I got like 20 CDs left. I got a show, I believe at 6 p.m. Tomorrow. You guys gonna come out? All right, man. See you guys there. Thank you for coming out, man. Peace out.